I'm going to keep my comments relatively short since I'm pretty sure that most of you would like to hear our new coach speak. It's been an exciting summer, still going on with some terrific games. Barcelona Man U over the weekend, lots of MLS games, big crowds, the excitement of the Women's World Cup, the excitement of the Gold Cup setting all sorts of records in attendance and television ratings. Some ups and downs, obviously, for our teams on the field, but overall, the health of the sport in the country certainly is quite good and headed in the right direction. That doesn't mean there won't be wins and losses along the way, but we're very pleased generally with where the sport is headed. Having said that, I think today is a very important day and perhaps starting a new era for us. We're extraordinarily excited about having Jürgen Klinsmann join our team, to lead our team and to help lead our technical programs. Jürgen's experience, both as a player and as a coach, and as a resident of this country, and I think all three of those are important, we think are all huge assets. And that latter solves the issue that of whenever we think about an international coach, will they know America? Will they know the difference between Duke and the Portland Timbers? And how long will that take? And all of the things that are specific to the U.S., the role of education, the geography, and so on. Jürgen has that. He's been a resident of the country for 13 years, has studied the country and has studied a lot of things, as many of you know, has lived around the world, is multilingual, and that's in addition to the vast playing experience and obviously the coaching experience with the German national team in Bayern Munich. His record is extraordinary. It speaks for itself. We've had discussions, as has been widely reported, for quite some time. We're going to focus today on what we're doing forward, although I'm sure there's some interest in how we got to today, and we'll address that. But we really want to focus on going forward and the excitement in the sport. And it's also, frankly, a reflection of where the sport is, that there's been so much interest in this announcement, in the fate of the national team, and we think all of those things are positive. Having said that, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the new coach of the U.S. men's national team, Jürgen Klinsmann.
Thank you. All right, one more. Good. Yeah. Well, Sunil, thank you very much for all those kind words. Thanks for having me here today, and I'm pretty excited. I'm really excited about this opportunity, this chance to coach the U.S. team. And having lived here, as Sunil said, for the last 13 years, and also, kind of got to know the U.S. soccer environment for quite some time, having connected with this country in all sorts of environments, if it's the kids or youth level, if it's the college system, if it's MLS, where I about 10 years ago did some work with Sigi Schmidt at the Galaxy, developed a little bit in the background the Home Depot Center with Tim Lawicki and the people. There has always been kind of this feeling around, maybe one day you get the opportunity to coach the US team. Then obviously, as most of you know, then I took over Germany for 2 years, guiding to the World Cup 2006, then I had a one-year experience with Bayern Munich. But I always kind of stayed, because of also family reasons, deeply connected with the US game. So now, this is a big moment for me personally too, for us as a family, and I'm really proud that I get that opportunity to be part of the future of US soccer. So it's going to be a challenge, absolutely. It's going to be quite demanding the next couple of weeks to get your hands around. There's a game coming up next week against Mexico already in Philadelphia. So, you know, it's a lot to do. Basically calling up the players now, getting a squad together, knowing that it's going to be not so easy since a lot of players, you know, had their breaks. Some of them haven't even played a game yet in the new season in Europe. But that's all just part of the job, and I'm really excited about that opportunity on all kind of levels. You know, I'm obviously talking with Sunil and with a lot of people here in the U.S. soccer environment. It's about the bigger picture. It's about, obviously, main responsibility is the men's team and moving that program forward. But it's also about discussing, you know, with a lot of people here involved in the game about what happens in the youth scene, what happens in all the developmental areas. So it is an exciting moment, and I want to thank you for coming today, you know, and give me such a wonderful reception.
Hi, congratulations, Jürgen. Grant Wall, Sports Illustrated. Less than a year ago, you had a chance to take this job and decided not to for, I guess, reasons of control. And I guess what I'm wondering is, how much of that control did you get this time in deciding to take this job?
Well, we had over years, Sunil and I, obviously talks, you know, but also talks just in general, not only about, you know, being maybe one day head coach of the U.S. team, but always about, you know, where's the game in this country? What are the big issues on the table, and what are the challenges ahead? And throughout those years, you know, there were always different moments and maybe also different opinions, which is normal. So it was maybe never really the moment there. You know, now there is, there's a feeling of understanding that, okay, you know, it is just a moment of a certain comfort level between the two of us, between the whole federation and myself. And it's not about power. It's really about a lot of kind of topics that float around, about challenges, you know, and there's so much going on in this country right now. I mean, since 1 or 2 years, you see all the academy clubs rising basically on the youth level, which is a big topic. You know, you see, you know, where the youth national team is going, and you see obviously the development of the men's and the women's team, you know, and their direction. So there's always, you know, different moments and different timings. You know, it seems like now the timing is right. It seems we had, you know, a clear understanding of what we want to do, and that's why I'm really happy that, you know, we found now this really comfort level of moving forward.
Let me add to that. Because I looked at the comments from a year ago. Between us, there's never been an issue about this so-called control. I think it's a bit of a red herring. What Jürgen's comments previously were about being able to incorporate that into a piece of paper. So the understanding that we've had about how we're going to move forward and collaborate, frankly, has been pretty clear for many years. How to best incorporate that is something we've been able to get through. And you're going to see a collaborative effort in all areas. We didn't do this on a handshake, that's right.
We'll come over here, front row in the blue.
Sunil, this is Luke Cyphers from ESPN Magazine. Why now? Why did you make the change at this point? Was it results, or what were your criteria?
Part of it is always results. We take time after every major competition to reflect on the competition and what's led up to that competition. So it's not a single game or a single result. It's where the program is, how comfortable we feel in the direction that it's going, based partly on results, for sure, partly on, you know, looking at the last year, and made a decision that it was time to make a change. And, you know, the timing is never good for a change. We have a game in 8 days, 9 days, so that's not an easy situation for Jürgen to walk into. With, in some cases, players have been contacted. He may or may not choose all of those same players. But after the Gold Cup, which is a benchmark for us, obviously, it was a natural time to look at where we were.
Jürgen. Hi, Leanne Sharlock and ESPN.com. What is wrong with this team, and how do you intend to fix it?
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with the team. I mean, they lost a Gold Cup final against a very, very good Mexican team that, over the last couple of years became one of the top 10 teams in the world. They have a lot of talent. So I think that, when you come into a situation like this, you analyze every individual players, you analyze, the team at itself, you analyze the program, which I get the chance over the next couple of weeks, and see, how you can develop that further. So you build basically on what was built already before. And I mean, if you look back the last 20 years in this country, a lot has been built. I mean, the U.S. has always been, since '90, qualified for a World Cup. The U.S. kind of made a lot of noise, with MLS, getting MLS introduced. Now look where MLS is. I mean, I know in the beginning, there were 8 or 10 teams. Half of the teams were kind of supported by Phil Anschutz. Otherwise, it would have been folded already after 2-3 years. Now you have a league with 18 teams growing next year again. You have youth development programs being introduced with the academy program, with stuff like that. It's come a long way, soccer in the United States, and I'm now getting this opportunity to move it further, to build on what has already been built by Bob the last 5 years. Before that by Bruce Arena, before that by Steve Sampson, and so on. So I'm proud to get that opportunity. But certainly, having lived and played abroad in different countries, Italy, England, France, obviously Germany, I have my own ideas of how to move forward a program. And I will, step by step, introduce some ideas that I have, but always checking, if it suits the American game. So I'm not coming in here and play the European guy, because I live here since 13 years. So I think I know a lot about certain issues that are around here, but I think you also can be proud of what you achieved already over the last 20 years, and where soccer is now. I mean, look at this press conference, look at 3 or 4 soccer-related television channels. Who would have thought that 15 years ago? So it's a lot of movement going on, and I want to be part of that movement, and and help out with it. So a lot to do.
First of all, happy birthday, zum Geburtstag. Welcome back on the international soccer stage. I think the international soccer is miss you so much. My 2 quick questions. What was your family reaction when you accept this job? And did you follow the Herbalife World Challenge? So there is any evaluation when the MLS teams meet some the world's best teams, like Manchester, FC Barcelona?
Well, part 1, family is very happy, obviously, about that decision, so no need to move back overseas for right now. And so they're also proud, absolutely, because my family is probably more American than German, because the kids are raised here in the United States. So they're extremely happy with that decision. I mean, the last couple of weeks, seeing all those international games, having MLS teams being involved in those international friendlies is another sign of where this game has come over the last years. And I mean, this is exciting. You have a league with 18 teams playing 34 league games, plus now you have these international exhibitions where every player can learn a lot from, big teams that came into the country. So the awareness is just getting bigger and bigger of soccer in this country. And you saw the crowds, you saw full stadiums, packed with people, and that's what I meant before. It's growing. Soccer is growing. You can't stop soccer anymore in this country. Are there still a lot of topics to discuss, a lot of areas to improve? Yes, absolutely, but that's what we're trying to do over the next years.
Michael?
Yeah, Michael Lewis, BigAppleSoccer.com, TrophyGold.com. Hey, Sunil, multiple questions for you. One, when did you make the decision on Bob Bradley? What was the meeting like with him last week? And then moving on to Jürgen, talk about the significance of him being a World Cup champion and a World Cup coach, and what that brings to the team, if you could elaborate on that.
On the first question, as I said, after the Gold Cup, we started to review